Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, fillies and gentlecolts, and welcome to the second edition of Autumn Breeze Reads. If you've actually come for the second edition, thank you very much. I will try not to disappoint you. This time around, I will be doing a reading of A Soldier's Night by Niaeruzu. Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know. I think so. Anyway, yeah. So, sorry, little thing in my throat. Let's get on with it. This is A Soldier's Night. Deep inside the changeling hive, in one of the many, many rooms, one changeling was trying to sleep. He was number 3 of Strike Team 7, a number and occupation he held with pride. Though separate had been dampened by the utter failure that was called the Canterlot invasion. It happened weeks ago, but his body was still sore. He tossed and turned, trying to get comfortable, which was pretty hard considering changeling beds were little more than an alcove in the hive stone walls. He eventually decided to just stare into the dimly lit room. It was one of the many barracks in the hive. Barracks was being generous, as it was pretty much just like any other room, except bigger and filled with lots of alcoves for lots of soldiers. The whole place was dimly lit by green magical lights. Number 3 didn't know how they worked, and he never bothered to find out. He just wanted to sleep. Psst! Hey! A chirping voice whispered from the alcove above the one number 3 was in, prompting him to turn around. He didn't need this right now. He just wanted to sleep, not get a migraine.
Psst! Hey! Number 3!
The voice sounded again.
Are you awake?
Number 3 grumbled. Yes. Yes.
Then you're being pretty bad at it.
The voice said, this time from behind him.
I mean, if you're asleep, you're not supposed to be talking and awake.
Number 3 groaned. Thanks for pointing that out, he said as he turned around. Anything else you want to tell me, number 44? Like the sky being blue, or that I want you to leave me alone so I can sleep? Number 44 of Strike Team 6 was standing on the floor in front of number 3's little alcove. Number 44 was, all in all, an okay soldier, but he was a constant thorn in number 3's side. Rude, annoying, selfish. Pretty much an average changeling. Except for one thing.
Well, I'm not telling you about the last one, because it's obviously not true,
Number 44 said. Unlike most changelings, his voice held a high-pitched chirp instead of a low-pitched buzz. Rare, but not unheard of. Number 3 just wished he'd never heard of it, because it was incredibly grating. Are you just here to annoy me, or do you actually need me for something? Number 3 asked.
The annoying is a plus, but I wanted to ask you something,
Number 44 said.
Do you think the rumors are true?
Number 3 sat up and raised an eyebrow. Rumors? Rumors? What rumors? Number 44 rolled his eyes.
Figures. No one would share that with you. There's been talk of a new invasion.
They wouldn't share it with me because it's stupid, Number 3 retorted. I'm still sore from being launched out of Canterlot. If we're going to attack again, we need a plan that isn't doomed to fail.
We totally had those ponies beat,
Number 44 said.
except we didn't realize that love could be used against us as well. But hey, we know that now, so we won't fail next time.
Beat? Number 3 hopped out of the cove. We got our carapaces cracked. Do I need to remind you of the part where we fought those 6 ponies?
I think that went pretty well,
Number 44 said. We were defeated by a bookworm, a farmer, a weather pony, a fashionista, a wuss, and whatever that pink pony was, Number 3 shouted. And there were 300 of us! In response to his shouting, someone in the barracks yelled at him to shut up, but he ignored it.
Feh, beginner's luck.
Number 44 dismissively waved it.
Next time, I won't trip over that cowering pony.
Number 3 slapped himself in the face with a hoof. You couldn't even defeat a rock if you wanted to.
Just you wait,
Number 44 said. Kicked at a random pebble on the ground, shooting it off into the distance. It hit a wall, bounced off, and hit Number 44 straight in the face. causing the changeling to recoil in surprise. Number 3 snickered. See? Hopeless.
Shut up!
Number 44 muttered.
I'm sure Queen Chrysalis will come up with a better plan for next time.
She will, Number 3 said. After all, if she doesn't come up with one, then who will? Number 44 shrugged.
I don't know. As long as it involves a bit more winning and a bit less gloating, I'm okay with it.
Less gloating? What, are you crazy? Number 3 asked. Gloating is essential to victory. It crushes the opponent's spirit. How could you hope to take over a city without gloating? Number 44 shrugged.
There's always a first time. But at least a gloating queen is better than an angry queen.
I'm just glad you didn't take it out on me, Number 3 said. Heard she banished Sumling to cool off. What do you think happened to that guy?
Beats me.
Number 44 chuckled.
I saw him being lifted outside, so I guess he's alone somewhere, miserable and starving.
Number 3 grimaced. Nasty. You know, isn't our job as soldiers to make sure no changeling is harmed?
I couldn't care less.
Number 44 scoffed.
We're soldiers. We answer to the queen and the queen alone. It's his own fault for failing.
But didn't we all fail? Number 3 sure felt sore enough to realize that they had failed.
I wouldn't say failed. More like...
Number 44 paused for a moment, waving a hoof around in a vague gesture.
We just didn't succeed.
That's the same thing, you dolt. That's like saying you're tactically retreating when you're actually just fleeing, Number 3 said.
Hey, there's a big difference.
Number 44 said indignantly.
It's,
It took a few moments to find the right words.
Saying you failed just sounds so negative. We didn't lose, we just didn't win.
Number 3 groaned. I'm pretty sure taking a beating and then being thrown away for miles by some kind of magic love shield thing counts as losing. Number 44 prodded Number 3 in the chest.
You know, your negativity is the reason we lost. Stop being such a negative Nancy and start winning. For the glory of the queen, the hive, and the entire changeling race.
Number 3 pushed Number 44's hoof away. Fine, it will make you leave me alone. I'll be more positive. Now go to sleep. Without waiting for an answer, or even a reaction, Number 3 walked outside the barracks, purposely bumping into Number 44 as he left. As he walked through the dank, dimly lit tunnels, Number 3 snorted. Stupid annoying Number 44. Stupid invasion. Stupid pony princesses. Stupid ponies in general. He needed some fresh air. Every once in a while he could hear another changeling who's clip-clopping on the hive's floor, or their wings buzzing in the distance. All of them with different jobs, different lives, different everything. Not that Number 3 really cared. Being a soldier was what he did. It was what he did best. His job wasn't the most glorious or the most forgiving. He stepped outside and took a deep breath as the cool night breeze flowed over his body. The only reason he was a soldier was, well, because he was told to be one by the queen. Wasn't always fun, but he wouldn't have had it any other way. Like all other changelings, he served the queen as well as he could. Certainly a lot different from ponies. They did silly things like look out for each other and defend their so-called friends. Changelings sure wouldn't do that. Why would Number 3 ever want to look out for changelings like Number 44? It'd be a waste of time. So, considering these ponies did defeat their aggressors, maybe they were onto something. Very maybe. Blech. Number 3 mumbled to himself. What am I even thinking about? He grumbled. He must have hit his head after being launched away from Canterlot. With a sigh, he turned around and went back into the hive. He needed some sleep. Get his mind off things. Gloomy ambience of the hive didn't do anything to ease Number 3's thoughts. Occasionally, he stopped to peek into a room to see what other changelings were doing. Most of them were sleeping, or taking care of some last-minute work. One room in particular made him pause for a while longer. A large room that was just a little bit more brightly lit than others. The alcoves there were a lot smaller and more plentiful than in other rooms. In those countless little alcoves slept countless little figures, changeling nymphs. Usually, number 3 would find them incredibly annoying. Nymphs were like mini changelings who didn't have a job and never kept their mouths shut. But when they were asleep and not harassing others, they could be a little endearing. Just a very little bit. Number 3 smiled to himself. Someday in the future, these nymphs would be grown up and be a soldier instead of him, when he was too old to work. He was already looking forward to chewing them out over every little thing, just like the elders had done to him in the past. A thought occurred to him. While soldiers only listened to Queen Chrysalida's direct orders, and as such only acted in her best interests, the Queen's primary objective was to ensure the changeling race prospered. Indirectly, number 3 was fighting for these little twerps as well. Number 3 turned away from the nymph-filled room and headed back to the barracks, grimacing. It meant that, in some way, changelings weren't that different from ponies. That thought stuck in number 3's head, even after he crawled back into his own alcove and fell asleep, dreaming about the day the changeling race would finally defeat their pastel-colored prey. This has been A Soldier's Night. It was written by Niaeruzu and read by Autumn Breeze. Okay, thank you all for listening. Now, you might have noticed a different quality to the sound compared to last time. That is because for Christmas, my younger brother Simon, ignore that, gave me new headphones that came with a microphone, and they cancel out sound around me pretty well, though I still had to move our finches out of the room because it could still pick them up, which was annoying, but Anyway, yeah, as you can see, I'm not sure if I struggled a bit more with this one than with the last reading I did, because I never realized how hard it would be to voice a changeling, especially with my throat the way it is right now. But on the other hand, I think I probably did better than last time. Niaeruzu, if that is your name, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. I really am. But as you can, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope all of you on YouTube enjoyed this reading. And I'm not sure when I'll get my next reading out, but we'll see. I'm still debating about what that will be about, to be honest. I mean, I've gotten a few fic suggestions, and I've put them in a folder on FimFiction, in my FimFiction library things. I mean, if any of you want to check out the ones I have plans to read, then feel free to do so. Till then, I can't really think of anything else, and I would honestly like to wrap this up, because I'm actually on a bit of a schedule today. So, until next time, later every pony!